Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Yelawolf record, Love Story. Alabama rapper Yelawolf, the Slumerican citizen himself, out with a new record. His second release for the Shady Records label, I believe. I was pretty impressed with Yelawolf's rap flow, his delivery, his gritty lyrics on his early singles and mixtapes. But then came in a Shady Records record contract, which, you know, while I haven't really been a big fan of a lot of Eminem's latest releases and projects, and I'm not a huge fan of the Shady Records catalog, I thought we were actually going to be in for a decent album from Yelawolf because, I don't know, just seemed like a pretty good fit given how big of an influence Eminem is on Yelawolf's style. Not only in how he raps, but also the themes that come up in his songs, being an outsider, growing up poor. Yelawolf packs in lots of references to his Southern heritage in his songs as well. But my high hopes for this record were dashed by just a series of mediocre songs. This radioactive album lacked in a lot of the same ways Slaughterhouse's Shady Records debut lacked. It didn't bring any of the grit of the early work and instead swapped that out with more sugary beats and poppy rap tunes. It just seemed like a more watered down version of Yelawolf's already established style. So, to be honest, I wasn't really expecting all that much from this new Yelawolf album over here. And not that I thought it was going to be terrible, but Yelawolf hasn't really crossed my mind since the release of Radioactive. But some people seem to be making a huge deal of this new LP over here. So out of morbid curiosity, I ended up checking it out, and I think Yelawolf came out with a less enjoyable album this time around. Yelawolf's cardinal sin on Radioactive is that he ended up doing the same thing most rappers do when they make a big commercial debut or a big commercial record. They just come out with a kind of sugar-coated, focus-grouped product. Now, I don't like Love Story either, but for completely different reasons. This album feels like there was no control over it whatsoever. This wolf on the front, no leash on this wolf. And as a result, the songs here are incredibly indulgent. It's like Yelawolf was given the ability, not necessarily the grasp, but the reach to go in any direction he wanted. So we get these funky fusions of country rap all over this LP, a la Kid Rock, along with the opener here, which is a bit of bustling rap rock that would have just blasted to the top of the charts had this been 1999 when this record dropped and people were just, really hot off a Limp Bizkit. And then there is singing, and more singing off of this LP. And not just other people singing, Yelawolf singing, which in small doses on some of these tracks is passable, like on the song Change or Empty Bottles, but on pretty much every other song here, Yelawolf takes it upon himself to deliver one nasal, vocally strained, and wimpy chorus after another, like on Whiskey in a Bottle, which samples an instrumental I haven't heard sampled since Madvillain's Mad Villainy, or the song Till It's Gone, or the hip-hop country fusion of American You. There are songs here where Yelawolf tries to do a legit folk tune, like on Devil in My Veins, where the chord progression definitely brings a House of the Rising Sun vibe, but his vocal delivery on this track isn't so nasal and obnoxious like it is on the other songs. It's very quiet and subdued, to the point where his singing is actually kind of passionless and boring, despite the very illustrious strings on the instrumental here. I kind of feel like his vocal delivery is lacking on the song Have a Nice Flight as well. These two tracks, to me, highlight that Yelawolf is just not that exciting of a singer. He's more passionate and compelling a rapper. We also have the unbearably corny Best Friend with Eminem on the song, and his really angry, aggressive verse couldn't even save the track. And Yelawolf does not rap on this song at all. I mean, he's singing throughout the duration of the track, except for Eminem's verse. My best friend. He's just really, really pushing it off a cliff. We also have the sickeningly lovey-dovey Tennessee Love and more songs on the back end of this LP too. It's to the point where I no longer feel like I'm listening to a rap record with some country undertones. I just feel like I'm listening to a country record with some rap undertones. And it's not that Yella needs to sort of stay in that rap lane. It's not that he can't experiment or venture out. It's that the country that he's making or creating or indulging in on this record isn't even particularly good country. It's more commercial than it is outlaw. The one bit of that you might hear sampled in the opening sketch that kicks the album off, that is the last bit of good country you will hear on this record after you have started it. To go back to that opening track one more time, even though it does feel like some corny, just stale rap rock, I do like the track quite a bit. It is fun. It's fun, despite the horrible outro. I'm from outer space. Yelawolf just sounds so amped and excited at the intro to this LP that it completely blows away any biases that I might have against this rap rock sound once the song kicks off. And when this guy makes a point to rap on this record, his chops and his passion are certainly still there. It's just that these moments don't happen that often on a record that is over an hour in length. I just kind of feel like on this record, Yelawolf has made himself tired of rapping. He just doesn't do it often on this LP, and when he does do it, his lyrics just kind of circle around the same topics we know him for talking about. Being a redneck, his upbringing, tattoos, Chevys, drinking, and he doesn't really give us any more insight into these topics than he has before in his one-liners and his kind of loose association verses where he's jumping from one idea to the next, or even the songs where he seems to dive a little deeper into a bit of a narrative, with the exception of the song Heartbreak, which actually I think Yella delivers some pretty coherent verses on this track talking about his, I guess, time in the music industry, signing, trying to keep fans happy, trying to keep his family fed and paid, trying to keep the record label happy. Just seemed like there was a lot of frustration, real frustration, coming through in his verses that made the song go over pretty well, despite the fact that it had this beat that would have Macklemore's mouth watering, like, ooh, I gotta rap on that. This record to me is just all about the very strong sense of cult of personality that is in hip-hop right now. Because if you weren't invested in the persona of the artist who you're following and you're such a big fan of, why would you want to listen to them sing if they're not that great of a singer? There are some rap artists that take advantage of this to a small degree. People like Kanye, who widely acknowledges the fact that he is not a good singer, yet continues to sing again and again and again on records. But at least he continues to bring lyrics. Yelawolf takes advantage of that cult of personality more than I think any rapper has as of late. Even Action Bronson, whose new record features a ridiculous amount of singing over some awful rock instrumentals. And not only is Yelawolf's just unlikable singing voice all over this LP, but the album emotionally is just sickeningly sappy over these just somewhat excruciating, a lot of the time, fusions of country and hip-hop. I mean, this record ends off with, I don't know, kind of like dueling turntable scratches and fiddle solos. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, this record to me, it's just sappy, it's overly emotional without actually bringing any lyrics that would make those emotions compelling. Just some corny songs all over this record, not good singing, just in bad taste fusions of rap and country. Again, not feeling this record, all right? Just feeling like a light 3 on this thing. Transition. If you've given this record a listen, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? What do you think I should review next? And that's it. Anthony Fantano, Yelawolf, Love Story, forever.